right. Welcome, friends, colleagues, students, citizens of the world. This is your boy, Roy Horton, coming to you one more time with another episode of the Teach Me Implants podcast. And today has been a day I've been waiting for a bit because you may have seen this man tell his hilarious stories on his Instagram story, both professional and personal stories that just have me dying. You may have heard this man from Dentist After Dark. My man Gary Dennis is an endodontist down in the Texas area and is known 100% for his unfiltered truth. And so I said, okay, you know what? I got some questions that have just been burning, and I need someone with the honesty and the lack of fear to be able to say what he thinks across the whole spectrum of things. I want everybody to please tune in for the next 45 minutes to an hour to my man, Gary Dennis. How's it going, bud?
Pretty good, pretty good. Happy to be here. Happy that you invited me into your space to be a part of this. I appreciate
All right. All right. No pun intended on the space.
it. Not at all. Not
Yeah,
at all.
that wasn't you trying to be trying to be funny with your background.
No, no.
All
I tied
right.
you
I
that
just
one. That's
I
what
just
I did. I just
introduced
tied
him
it in.
as
I just
as
tied
a
it in.
I just introduced him as a brutally honest man, and he's out here starting off with puns, with space puns, unintentional. I'll take it. Uh, I do want to bring up, bro. So I've
Just
been watching you
it just lined up. It
running.
just lined up well.
It is lined up. Yep. So I've been watching you running, and I've been so jealous because I was an avid runner for a long time, and you were doing these challenges of 100 miles a month, which me and a buddy a couple years
Mhm.
back had done that. Tell me, like, what sparked your 100 mile a month goal, and how does it feel when you hit that goal at the end of the month?
All right. So this the story is kind of I'm gonna say it's kind of an inspirational story because it started back when I went on a group trip with friends from dental school,
Mhm.
and we were looking at the pictures when we came back, and we were all just we hadn't eaten too much steak and shrimp. Okay, we were all, we were all just completely out of shape. Right.
Right.
So then I was going on another trip, but this time it was friends from college, and it just so happens, you know, Howard University, finest, makes great humans. Um,
Right.
but they're all professionals too
Right.
in their own fields and whatnot. So we decided we are going to go to Cabo, but before we go,
Mhm.
we're going to do 100-mile challenge so that when we get there, we
Mm.
all at least look to be in some type of shape, right?
Right.
So that's how it started, and that was man, that was many, many, many years ago. That might have been like 2017, maybe
Mm.
2016, somewhere around, maybe even 2015. It was a while ago, but that's what sparked it, and then we just kept it going. We just kept it going because now it's a challenge, and then like it's something that my friends from all parts of the country, like I got friends in Cali, still back in DC. I'm in Texas, but it's something we could all do together, on a
Yeah.
daily or weekly basis. So we just
Right.
kept the challenge going, and so we got there, and actually it was is really great because it's all keeping us accountable, and keeping us like healthy. If you're out there
Right.
getting your cardio in, you're doing a lot more than most people.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Now, what's your clips look like? Are you running? You doing these in sub eights, sub nines, sub tens? What's your times look like?
So it depends. Like I will do endurance runs, I will do speed runs, and I will do I'm just trying to get these fucking miles done run. Right? Some of that some of that brutal honesty for you. I mean, a lot
Right.
of times when you especially when you're with any goal that you're trying to reach in life, it takes
Mhm.
sacrifice and dedication. Um, and a lot of times you don't fucking feel like being there doing that, but you got to do it to reach the goal. Right.
Facts.
So sometimes the run, sometimes that's what the run is. Like it might be
Right.
It might be a 9:30 run, you know? I'm just trying to get through it. But I'd say generally, I try to stay, again, I'm running by myself, so there's no one out there pushing me, you know? I'm just trying not to get hit by cars and attacked by dogs when I'm running. 'Cause I run out on the street too. I don't run, like, on a track or a path at a park or anything. I run on the street. Um, but helps keep me vigilant, you know, keeps my you know,
Right.
but, um, yeah, like, sometimes the runs I mean, I try to keep them around 10 no, I'm sorry, around 8:40 because I'm right about 8:40, I can hit 7 miles in 60 minutes. So, like, right around 8:40, I try to give myself miles in an hour. Sometimes I'll run further, sometimes I run less than but generally but now, that's when I'm running by myself. Now, if we're gonna go
Right.
run a 10K or a half mile at a sanctioned competition, I'm gonna run a
Oh,
whole lot
you turning it up.
faster than
Yeah, you turning it up.
oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna be
Yeah.
yeah, I went on a the last run I went with, Doctor, Dontra Scott. He's also an endodontist here in
Yeah.
Houston. Um, and we were we started out and I took off and he told me, he was like, "I was trying to keep up with you, but then you looked like you were hitting sub 8s." So I was like, "Fuck
Right.
that. I'll let you
Right.
go."
Right.
But, like, I'm out there trying to win. Like, I don't
Right. Right.
so
Right.
yeah, I'm but
Right. You don't have to
it's kinda
qualify,
crazy.
man. I mean, if you hitting 100 miles in a month, I don't care if they're 15-minute miles. That's still, like you messaged me earlier, that's still more than 99% of people. And
Yeah.
so I was looking back at so let's see, July 19th. I don't know if you can even see it on camera here. In July 2019, hit 100 miles. Some were like 8:30 averages, some were like 10:50. Like you said, some days you feeling good, and then other days you're just like, listen, I got to hit this commitment, and or you just sore because if you just ran,
Oh,
sub eights or
yeah.
sub nines yesterday, today, like you're just lucky you're out there. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Um,
Yeah. On those days where, like, I really don't wanna feel like running, it
mhm,
if it's nice outside, that's the day to go run outside because at least you have something to look at while you're running,
right,
you know? To keep your mind mo motivated and distracted or whatever. But if it's one of those days, it's, like, raining outside, you gotta run on the treadmill, at least put on a Rockets game. If you can put on a Rockets game and run, then there's some
right.
inspiration right there. It's funny,
No,
it's Rockets. No, no, my God.
no.
Yeah.
All right, bet. Let's get into it because I need your true, unfiltered opinions on some of these issues here. But I do want to give a little bit of pretext. So anyone that's especially like whether it's my dental students or like a young doctor listening, tell me how extensive or intensive your endodontic training was. How long was it? How intensive was that time period?
So, I mean, the actual endodontic program was 2 years, but, I mean, I knew I wanted to do endo before I got into endo, of course. You know, while I was in dental school, I was doing everything that I could once I realized I wanted to apply to endo, uh, to get as much endodontic experience as a dental student as I could, of course. I finished Howard Dental School in 2010. I finished endo in 2012. I went straight through. So I've been practicing for, was it 13 and a half years now?
Mhm.
Um, but I also moonlighted after the first 6 months of residency, having to be so blessed that I had two cousins that owned a
Mhm.
dental practice that was 1 mile from the University of Pittsburgh. So I would just go there twice a week right after school and do endo in their office for them.
Gotcha.
So I think that was very beneficial, and it was interesting that the majority of the residents at Pittsburgh, or endo at least, we all moonlighted, all of us did.
Mm,
So it wasn't like a rarity. I think it might have been a rarity that all of us did. That was
Right.
kind of interesting. Um, but but it definitely helped get us ready for like working in the real world,
Mhm.
especially for those of us who had not already practiced as general
Right.
dentistry or in general dentistry.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, it was helpful. Yeah.
Okay. And that was
Did I
like
answer?
yeah, yeah, you answered part of it. So, but how intensive would you say compared to dental school? Was it more intense in those 2 years? Was it more volume? How was it different?
So everybody's experience is going to be different. Like in dental school, my father was the chief of neurosurgery at the hospital while I was in dental school. So like everybody knew who I was. So like in clinic, I probably had a little bit more leeway than some people. Me, dental school was really a chance for me to really prove myself and like be focused in my craft. Like, this is what I wanna do. Like, and again, like, I really wanted to do dentistry. I so, like, it gave me a chance to really focus. Like, in undergrad, I was all over the place. My GPA shows that I was all over the
Right.
place. But in dental school, like, I really had a good time. I really wanted to learn everything that I possibly could.
Mm.
So, like, I would go to school, like, hungered to learn. And then my questions to the professors would be in that manner too. Like, don't tell me that on slide 4, 2 plus 2 equals 4, but then on slide 16, you're writing 2 plus 2 equals 5. That's a problem. Like, what is it, this or is it that? And some professors did not appreciate that. But
Mm.
but I'm like, yo, like, I'm paying to be here. Like, I need you to tell me the right information so I know the right information. So when I take the test, I can get the question right. Um, I was already like that headed into residency. So to me, I thought residency was a breeze. I mean,
Mm.
I hate the city of Pittsburgh. I never want to live there ever again. Uh, um, but the program was great. The program itself was great. Um, and the thing was is that there's some times in life it's just right place, right time, like the perfect
Mhm.
timing. And the director was a new director. He started like 6 months before our class
Okay.
started. So like the way he was doing things was completely different from how the director did before. Like
Mm.
we didn't um we didn't like have tests. We had okay, let me rephrase that.
Right.
We had tests in the core classes that all the residency people had to take. All the residents. Sorry, I've had a few of
Is it,
these.
you have had a couple of
Yeah,
those.
bear with me. All right.
Right.
Yeah. But so the core classes that all the residents had to take.
Right.
Of course, we got grades in those, but for all of our endodontic classes, we didn't have any grades.
Mm.
We just had to read the work, come in, and be prepared to discuss the work.
Right.
If you weren't prepared, then you got yelled at like your parent who was extremely disappointed in you,
Right.
and it made you feel bad. So you
Mm.
came in there prepared. And then at the end, it was like all the second years got A's and all the first years got B's. And then that's how I did it.
Yeah.
So it was like, I mean, it was a breeze because it was like you were free to learn on your own, but you had to be motivated to learn. If you weren't motivated to learn, then he was gonna be like, what the fuck is your problem? And then probably like come if you were in my year, come talk to me and be like, yo, you gotta talk to this motherfucker. He's not doing the work. Like what, you know? But so that was a very interesting residency because I don't think there are very many residency programs that run like that, and it doesn't run like that anymore.
Right.
So I thought it was a breeze. You could just focus on the learning, and you didn't have to
Mhm.
like worry about uh, learning information just for a test. Like
Yeah.
we're learning information to learn it, to apply it, to be able to use it. in real life as opposed to just taking it for the test. And I thought that was very, I thought it was helpful for me
Right.
because I could just focus on learning whatever I wanted to learn.
No, I can see that, and I think that part of innovative teaching is if you make everything a high stakes experience, people are just stressed out.
Hmm.
When you foster enough freedom to where you develop an intellectual curiosity in your students, and it has to be somewhat self selective. The student has to show up already with that mentality. If I think in dental school you get a lot of students
Exactly.
that they're just trying to get out. Like whatever the minimum I got
Exactly.
to do to get out, and that's not the best student to have in residency. You want someone in residency that is truly, like you said, hungry for the knowledge, because then it's self motivation. It's a free enough environment where they feel invested and supported to allow you to guide their learning, but you're not just stressing them out for 2 years and then releasing them into the world. Um, yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So with that context, because
Mhm.
I really want to set up, because a lot of my questions are going to be geared towards, you know, my experience years as a general dentist, some of the stories I've seen you post in regards to your experiences in general dental clinics, whether it's the staff, the doctor, the system, and so forth. Because I do want people to understand that there is a difference, not in a hierarchy of, well, I'm better than you because I'm a specialist. But there's a certain personality type and characteristic of someone that decides to go to specialty. And there's a certain amount of intensive learning and training that develops your critical thinking skills, your knowledge base, how you work up and assess patients and cases, and so forth, that might create a disconnect between us and then who we are engaging with, or whether it's a referral base or associate general dentist that work. Because there's a reason why specialists are specialists. And
Mhm.
sometimes, like I said, it's self-selective, right? This personality type tends to pursue that extra training for a specific kind of endogenous reason. So, um, I just got a couple questions. Feel free to go as long as you want or as honest as you want. It's gonna not gonna be
Alright.
too much input for me. First question: do you feel that your expertise is valued by your average general dentist that you interact with?
Mm, that's a good question. That's a good question. And I to answer that, I did say there's levels. There's different levels. Because a general dentist that I work with all the time is gonna have a different level of respect for me, or we're gonna have a different level of respect for each other, really, as opposed to a general dentist I don't work with a lot, or I've never worked with. They just sent me some random patient, and the only reason they're there is because I happen to take their insurance and no one else does. You know, so in that situation, um, okay, I'm going to say this another way too, before I get any deeper. Some general dentists want the specialist to do the specialist thing. They're like, do your thing, and then when you're done, send it back to me, and I'm gonna do my thing, and we're gonna save this tooth and make this money, or replace this tooth and make this money, right?
Right.
And the patient's gonna be happy, and the patient's gonna love us, right? But then there's other general dentists when they send to a specialist, they are like, do this treatment. They don't want your expert opinion on the treatment.
Mm.
They just want you to do the treatment so then they can do their treatment.
Right.
And it and that there's a disconnect. That's when the disconnect happens because what if what you want done cannot be done? Or
Mm.
or what if I can't do it?
Right.
Just not in my hands. I can't, like, someone else might be able to do this, but I can't do this. So that's where the disconnect happens is the relationships. It comes down to the relationships. Like, do we know each other? And if we do know each other, do we work well with each other or do we not work well with each other? Um, but I think that's also um, a luxury for a specialist who has been practicing for many years. So, like, if I was under 5 years, there's no way I can really pick and choose who I want to work with because I probably don't have, you know, that vast of a referral base, under 5 years. But over 5 years, I mean, you should pretty much have established a decent referral base and know who you're working with for the most part.
Okay.
And then, like, because if the tooth looks non-restorable and I don't know you,
Hmm.
then I'm gonna send it back and be like, this non-restorable. But if I know you and I know, or at least trust you're gonna do your best to try to restore the tooth, then
Hmm.
I'm gonna have more faith in working on a tooth that I think is questionable.
Right. Right.
Did I answer
And
your question?
you did. Let me follow up on that because one thing that I've noticed is as a periodontist, communication isn't always great from the general dentist. I'll write up these long notes with give like my opinion, my rationale, and I always send it back. And more often than not, especially if I need a response, I'll even say like, please respond. Here's my cell number, blah blah blah. And then ghost for like 2 weeks, and I call them, and you could just tell the doctor's reading it for the first time. It goes to email, comes in the mail, get put in the chart. No one cares. What does that look like in an endo setting? Are these general dentists quick to call you up and be like, "Hey, Gary, talk to me about this case. I'm really interested in how we can collaborate." Or is it the same experience that I'm having that you're having?
So, um, well, I'm we so we're all educated people, right? And highly educated, and some of us just even higher educated than other high educated people, right?
Right.
But what I do know is that people are just in general, people are busy and don't
Mhm.
want to be bothered. So I know when I need to explain something especially on paper, it really can't be longer than like a paragraph. And
Right.
I'm not talking about a long paragraph either. I'm talking about like 5 sentences. You got 5 sentences, and and more than likely they're probably not even going to read it.
Right.
So you make sure that the X-rays, make sure the
Mhm.
pictures are pretty because that's probably all only thing they're gonna look at. They're not really they just care like, was it done? Did it work?
Right.
For now, what do I need to do? That other than that, they're yeah. So I'm kind of get the same thing. It's like they don't really want to be bothered with that shit. They don't want to read. I remember I had somebody, um, I don't remember what specialty, but they were a new specialist and they
Mhm.
were writing a report and it was like 3 pages to the general dentist. And I was like, they're not fucking reading that. They're not gonna. There's no way. No, this is the
Right.
last shit they would read. If they saw it, they're like, oh fuck that. I'm not reading that shit. You better keep
Right.
that shit.
Right. Right.
It can't be longer than a page, and it better be like you might well use like size 18 font.
Right. Right.
Good. They're not reading that much on there. Like they're just not. And I don't necessarily think it's even a general dentist thing. I think it's a human nature thing. Like people are they're busy. They don't have time to read. But granted, when you talk about a specialist,
Mhm.
it, there's a higher level. So like if you wrote a report and you send it to me,
Mm.
I'm gonna read that report. I'm
Okay.
gonna read every word.
Yes.
And then even when I get reports from general dentists, and if they take the time to write anything, I read it all. Sadly, there's usually a lot of contradictory shit in what they wrote.
Right.
so, so then I'm like, what the? I'm like,
Right.
we're gonna just do a basic first.
And I think that's where what I've learned over time is I put my main message first. in the first paragraph. And then I always say, below are my clinical exam results for your records. Because if I put all that first and then my message at the end,
Yeah.
they're going to tune out, right? So
Yeah.
as few
Exactly.
of them actually read it, even less would read it if I did that.
Yeah.
Um, so okay, so that's I think we're painting a picture here. So I'm gonna describe a scenario, and I want you to tell me if you've been in this scenario. Have you ever been working at an office where there's other general dentists, or maybe you're working for an owner that's bringing you in a couple times a month or so forth? And they seem to presume that part of your job is to train and educate them. And in my head, I remember this. I mean, because it's like, hey, Leroy, yeah, this is great. We could work together. I want to be able to shadow you and learn what you do. And, you could teach me this. And I'm just thinking, like, in my head, I'm not saying it, but I'm like, bro, I'm here to do my job,
Mhm.
not teach you how to also do my job. And, you know what I mean? What does that look like in the endo world? Have you been approached with that assumption that you're also there to train that doctor?
Numerous, numerous times.
Okay.
And I know I've said on occasion, this is not a GPR to them.
All right.
Like, you want me to do what? This is not a GPR. Like, I'm not here. That's not what I'm here for.
Right.
Like, the, there's the thing. It's like the audacity that general dentists have with endo is they will fucking bring in an endodontist,
Mhm.
have their schedule not full. The schedule is not full, and they will be in the operatory fucking next to endodontist doing a fucking root canal at the same time. And then have the audacity to come over and be like, "Hey, can you look at this tooth? Something's wrong with the." And I'm like, "What the fuck? Hell no!"
Right.
I'm like, "If you want me to," I don't say hell no to them. In
Right.
my eyes, they can see, but I'm like,
Yeah.
"Fuck no, motherfucker!" And I'm like, and I tell them, I'm like, "Hey, if you want me to see that patient, we can put them on my schedule. Make sure you financially arrange them to now see a specialist because it's going to be about 4 times more than when they were in the general dentist seat. And then they get the deer in headlight look like, "Wha- what?" And
Right.
I'm like, yeah, yeah, no, no, yeah, yeah. Like I don't know how you deal with it, but I like generally after like the third time, if I'm at that office after the third time they do that shit, I'm generally not working there anymore
You
because
go.
I'm like, I'm not. This is out of like this is bullshit. I mean, I mean they need to be pulling in some really major great fees for me to stay around that nonsense. But
Right.
I'm generally like, this is not, yeah, this is not it for me. I like
No,
a nice. Go ahead. Sorry.
no. I was gonna say. I think you brought up a good point for any general dentist that might end up listening to this. Is you can't be competing with the specialist that you bring in. So if you want me to do surgery in your office, that means any and all surgery goes through me. And if my availability is that sparse, then what's left over maybe goes
Mhm.
to you, but my plate has to be the priority to be filled first. And it's not from a money stance per se, it's from a logistical. I can't be showing
Yeah,
up and
it's
my
just
schedule's half full while you're doing my job next door. And like you said, asking me the advice. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It can't function like that. Uh, yeah,
And then like, why would I like? I paid $250,000 for my dental school degree, and I paid $150,000 for my endodontic specialty degree. So why the fuck would I come in here and tell you how to do my fucking job?
right.
That don't make no goddamn sense.
It make no damn
Like
sense.
what? Like I'm gonna put myself out of work? Like what the fuck are you talking about?
Right, right.
Like
And that's let me follow up on that because one of the things that I've also realized is residency for me was a structured, condensed learning, condensed in 3 years that built on itself. It wasn't
mhm,
like, okay, we're going to do this piece today. Next week, we'll do this piece. We're gonna do this random piece here. It was very structured. I teach a lot of general dentists today to do advanced stuff, and a lot of them come in and they're just like, "Oh yeah, I want to." I was hoping today I could. I got a bunch of free gingival graft cases, that I want to be able to do. And I'm like, "Well, that's the first time you're taking any soft tissue course. You don't go from zero to free gingival graft,
The
right? Just like
steps,
you should.
steps.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
shouldn't go from
exactly.
zero to molar microscope endo, right, on calcified canals. Like there's steps and there's stuff where you need to know enough to know it's not for you, right?
So so that's the thing about that is you can tell when a general dentist has done a GPR or even an AGD and
Mhm.
has not.
Right.
Because at least if they've done a GPR or AGD, they've been exposed to specialists while they were in that program. So they have a little bit more understanding that you can't go from 0 to 100.
Right.
You gotta you might even do it by tens, but you can't go from 1 to 100. You
Right.
know? But but again, like, I feel like well well, I mean, I think every dentist, including myself, I think that every dentist should be required to do at least a 1-year GPR or AGD. I'm talking about everybody, even
Agreed.
people, those of us who are going to specialty or whatever. And, I think they should change the whole scheme. And I'm like, you can apply to specialty and get in during your 4th year, but you still got to do the GPR, the AGD, and then your spot will be held for the year after,
Mhm.
right? And if every dental school was on that program, then it'd be fine.
Yeah.
Like everybody be on the same program. You got to do AGD or GPR, and then of course, I think every state, just like how they do in New York, like if you do a GPR or AGD in that state, you should automatically be licensed in that state because you've
Right.
completed the minimum requirement uh, to perform dentistry there.
Right.
I mean, that's just my own personal opinion. But I feel like that would eliminate a lot of the. I, I can only call it ignorance. It's
Yeah.
ignorance
Yeah.
that we have to deal with on a daily basis.
Well, it's I like the word audacity that you used because it is pretty audacious to think that a 1 day, a 2 day, a 5 day course, you're gonna come out doing what it took you and I 2 and 3 years to get as good as we're at our level,
And
right?
not even and think about this, not even where we are now, where we are when we started.
Where we started. Yeah, exactly.
And
Exactly.
those people want to be where we are now.
Right.
That's I've done 30,000 cases. Like you want
Right.
to come in here every day, 4 cases, and you think you
Right.
would no, like it's not happening.
Right. Right. So, okay, so next question. And they might touch on this subject. What are some of your pet peeves as an endodontist from referring doctors?
So, um, again, it's about the relationship. So, like, if I work with you, you know, at least once a month, I'm getting at least 4 cases from you.
Hmm.
Then, over the year, we've done a lot of cases, right? So by that time, we should have an understanding of how to work with each other, and neither of us piss each other off.
Right.
That's really what it comes down to. Like, I hate when he does this, and I hate when he do that, and I hate, But after a year, we should be like, okay, we should be a little bit more in sync, and should be fine. But hold on, I went off track here. What's the question again?
Pet peeves from general
Pet
dentists.
peeve. All right, so yeah. So if we don't have that relationship, and like you send me a referral, and it says root canal number 19, and it's December, but the X-rays are from February, that you sent me, and you didn't even send like you sent me 3 X-rays of number 30, but you only sent me 1 bite wing uh, of number
Right.
19. We're supposed to do a number 19, but I got all this stuff for number 30. Like that kind of shit pisses me off
Mm,
because that's when I'm like, so this is what I think. This is probably not the right way to think about it
mhm.
because I've never been an office owner.
Right.
So I don't really know the magnitude of stupidity, ignorance, and incompetence that an owner doctor has to deal with on a daily basis with their
Yes.
staff or providers or anything like. I don't, I don't own office, so I don't know, but I'm sure it's a lot,
Mm,
right? But for me, like, if you're gonna, if you send me something and the shit doesn't look right, then I'm assuming your whole practice isn't right. I'm assuming you're not right, your assistant ain't right, your front desk ain't right. So
mhm.
now I'm like, do I even want to fuck with you? Do I even want to work with you? Because this shit don't make sense. And so if you're going to send me something, make sure shit makes sense. Make sure it's lined up. Like if you're going to send me an X-ray, make sure it's an X-ray within the last month.
Mhm.
Unless you wrote on the referral, patient cracked their tooth. Don't send me a fucking X-ray from a month ago. Send me the X-ray from the day they cracked their tooth. You know, so that is a huge pet peeve to me because that, like, when I see stuff like that, it changes the whole outlook of my daily schedule because now I'm thinking that that case is $1,500 in production, but you send me some shit that don't make any sense, then now it's a consult because
Right.
I've no like it might only be $80. I just lost a thousand
Yes.
plus dollars in production.
Yes.
So that is a pet peeve. Like, so what I try to do 13 years of practice, right? So I try to do everything to streamline things to make it easy for assistants, front desk, and everybody, easy as possible, that we can get the information. I can say yes or no, and then we can schedule the patient, get the patient in, do the treatment, get them back. Uh, but the roadblocks,
Right.
the roadblocks are continuous and immense.
Mhm.
But I tell them all the offices that I go to. I say, look, if someone's going to send something that's outside of this office,
Mm,
tell them we need a bite wing and a PA, and it needs to be current.
right.
And then just give me something more than root canal number 19 on the referral, like
Right.
pain to cold or like swelling, like just
Yes.
anything more than
Yes.
just do the root
Yes.
canal.
Yes.
Anything more, you know? So then I have more information. So then I
Mm,
can be like, yes, this is something we can do, something we can't do. We're not wasting people's time. Like, guess the whole thing is like my whole thing is that, you know, I can always make more money, but
mhm.
I'm never getting my fucking time back. Like, time is a one commodity that you're never fucking gonna get back. So that really is the one you should cherish the most. So I don't want to go to work. I don't want my time wasted. I don't want patients coming in and me telling them like, "Oh, we can't do this," and then their fucking time is wasted, and they're pissed off at me, and I'm pissed off because I'm wasting money, and their time's So I'm like, we can avoid all of that by just following the simple guidelines that I have set forth. But the problem is that people don't want to follow those guidelines. They don't. They don't. They don't
And
want to make it easy.
simple
You
seem I was gonna say simple seems to be a relative term to some people, right? Because we can dumb things down as simple as possible, elementary level, and then highly educated people will still not be able to comply with that or will get things
yeah,
wrong.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I feel like maybe that's what drove me eventually to say, okay, you know what? I do want to
definitely,
specialize.
definitely.
And I can understand now from the other end of it. You're right. If I don't trust your systems, but my work is partly dependent on your end product, you're going to do all this masterful root canal work, but you're assuming they have the expertise, the level of organization, and the critical thinking to properly restore it. Then you're like, well, do I even want to participate in this exchange? I don't trust you guys.
Exactly.
You know,
Right? Because then you're gonna come back and I'm gonna have to do a fucking free retreatment. So I'm
right,
like, now we're wasting everybody's time. And we're making
right,
zero money.
yeah,
Like I'm not it actually costs me money. It costs me more money to do a free retreatment. No, like it costs me money because I had to fucking
yeah,
drive there.
yeah,
I had to
yeah,
get the instruments, the files, the supply. Like this is costing me money. It's not free.
yeah.
It's free for them, but it's costing me money.
You
So
gotta
like
get
it
you gotta gas up the Porsche, Gary. Is that what you're saying?
I gotta gas it up. And then but then I go, it's like I'm walking into residency again. I'm paying to do root canals again. I'm like, what is this? Graduated
Absolutely,
from this shit already. Paying to do a
Ab-
root canal. Yeah.
absolutely.
You're funny. Gas up the Porsche. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I actually try not to drive the Porsche as much as possible to work. That's why I got a Volvo.
Yes. I learned that early on.
Volvo.
My business partner would show up with his fancy cars, his brand new Teslas, and park it right in front of the office. And there's a couple times I had to tell him, like, bro, no, either park it out back or just show up in a regular car because they already think that what they're paying is going straight in our pockets.
Right.
You're just validating that. Like, no fancy cars in front of the office, please.
Right. They're like, you gotta pay for your three boats. That's why you
Right,
got that
right,
fancy Tesla in the front. Like, and I'm like,
right. But this
oh,
leads to my next question because I'm in the educational space. I've been in educational spaces for years now, teaching postdocs, but now I'm also at the pre-doc level. And from your opinion, do you feel are you on the like extreme left where you feel and not left politically? I'm just choosing a side, right? On one end, are you on one end where you feel like everybody can do it if you just give them a chance? Or are you on the other side where you feel like everybody can do what they're able to do, but everybody has a different ceiling? And it takes great
I don't feel like
pains and stakes to crack a ceiling. And so, for the most part, people are just
mm,
destined to certain levels of ability, and we just have to accept that. Or can everybody literally do anything?
this is a very loaded question. All right.
Mm,
So I'm gonna start with I think that anybody can do anything that they want to do if they have the right motivation, the right dedication, and are given the opportunity,
okay.
right? In anything. Even like with coaching, like I can see like which kids are good and which kids aren't, but the kids that aren't will not get better if you don't give them an opportunity to get better.
That is true.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. So and you're in academia now. Like I feel like you should, you understand that like they
Mhm.
still have to be given the opportunity. Now, if they are given the opportunity multiple times and cannot rise to the occasion multiple times, then okay, well, this is probably where their ceiling is.
Right.
Like
Right.
I can't. You've proven I should not expect more than this from you.
Right. Right.
You
Right.
know. So, um, you know, I, I used to think that anyone who wanted to do a specialty was someone who truly had the desire to do that specialty. And then when I got into residency, I realized that's not true. That is just not true. Some people just have fucking good ass grades, and they were like, "Oh, I got in, so I'm here." You
Right.
know, and those got in, so I'm here. People, I, some of them might turn out to be great. But without, I just feel like if you really to be great at anything in life, you really need to have the focus, desire, and dedication to being that. And if you're just
Right.
riding the wave, I don't think you're ever going to reach the potential that someone else who has a true desire in. I mean, look at basketball. Look at basketball. Like there's a lot of people that are in the NBA. Well, let me rephrase that. There's actually not a lot of
Okay.
people who want to play basketball who made it to the NBA, right? But some of those people that made it to the NBA, they made it because they're fucking 7 feet tall.
Right.
Like, they're not the best shooter, they're not the best dribbler, they're not, you know what I mean? But, like, you can't teach height.
Mm.
So they're there, but like once they're there, are they going to be an all-star? No, they're not. So I kind of look at dentistry the same way. Is that like, yeah, we all have the same education, we all have the same degrees, the same certifications or whatever. But like some of us truly desire and are focused on like what we're doing as opposed to people who are just riding the wave.
Do you think we're in an age though where you can be honest with people? Because one of the struggles I have is with my dental students, they're locked in with me hopefully for 4 years. I feel they're paying an extremely high amount of money. I'm gonna go above and beyond, extra hours, extra efforts to get them where they need to be, to keep cracking that ceiling if it needs to be cracked to get them to the next level. With
Oh,
postdocs on like a 1 day course, a 2 day course, I've actually had to have hard conversations with doctors where, we're doing the hands-on and they're literally all thumbs. Or they're asking questions that
mm,
I've probably already stated and reiterated and emphasized 3 times, but then you're still asking me this question, which tells me that there's some deficit there, whether it's an attention deficit, a learning deficit.
not prepared.
So I've had to tell them like, hey, you probably need more training before you do this on Monday. So
Mm,
my advice to you is I appreciate you took this course, but I truly feel you're not ready to be attempting these type of procedures. But I almost feel like we're in a day and age where you can't really give hard, honest truth to people anymore because of how our culture has become so supportive of the unable or the
it,
unable.
they're like, you can't bully people, can't do that. You're bullying and shit. Oh, trust me, I've had some HR meetings in
Have you?
my professional career. Oh yeah, I've had I've had a few. I've had a few. Um, but I mean, so people now are not. All right, so I'm 47, right? So I was born in 1978, and I'm Gen X, and I'm on the end side of Gen X.
Right.
But like people I was around are older than me are real Gen X, and like they don't. It's you could be a lot more direct before, and I was saying older times now, but let's go back even like 20 years. 20 years ago, you could be more direct than you are now. Now you really have to state things in a way where you're not like hurting people's feelings. Which is kind of it's just so bizarre to me because I'm like I'm a you can do the job or you can't. If you can't do the job, this ain't a place for you. Like that simple. But
Or at
now they're
least
like
not right now.
you can't.
Right.
Yes, yeah. Like or you need to do this and that. Work on this and that, and then we can reassess. I yeah. I mean, it's funny. It's funny we're having this conversation because and you are in academia because like when I feel like I'm close to retiring, I want to go back to academia and I want to spread my knowledge, but I'm like, man, I'm gonna have to be really walking on eggshells on how I talk to people. I'm like, shit,
Right.
have me in HR at the university. Yeah, that's not good. You know, but I do think you have really people have a lot of feelings. That's what it is. People
Mm.
have a lot of feelings now, and then even when you think about drug addicts,
Hmm.
right? Um, you know, 20 years ago, you'd be like, oh, they're just druggies. Now they're like, oh, they have like a mental issue, and we need to address their mental issue to, so there's a lot more emphasis on mental well-being.
Right.
I think that's what it comes. There's more emphasis on mental well-being now
Mhm.
than there was. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, but it definitely. um, makes you have to shift your choice of verbiage when
Right.
relaying a message.
No, and I can appreciate that both, in my space of academia, I've done a number of years of coaching, like as you're coaching now, when my kids were coming up, volunteer coaching as a parent is you have to be very intentional sometimes with your words and your decisions. And I feel the same pressures in graduate level academia that I felt when I was coaching my daughter's soccer team when she was 10. And
Mm, buddy.
in my head, I struggle with that because I'm like, no, I should be able to be more honest with
Yeah.
these adults, these grown ass adults, right?
Who are already doctors.
Right,
Who are already doctors. Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So that leads
Mhm.
me to my next question for you, because there is some argument that some have said that as the cultures have changed, our competency levels of the doctors we're producing seems to have changed a little bit. A lot of
I
people
agree.
passing through having done a lot less, a lot of
Mhm.
people being kind of grade inflated by because the institution doesn't want to deal with lawsuits, the hassle of someone complaining or getting mommy and daddy to come, argue with the dean or whatever.
Mhm.
But confidence is at an all-time freaking high amongst this young generation. So much so that every doctor now that is, I guess they would be millennials and younger, they are on social media with their platform. They are
Art.
experts. They're also dancing, and they're also diving into these realms of like, I'm the biological dentist. I am the holistic dentist. I am the guru of whatever. So it's a two-part question. The first one is, what do you think of the evolution of the dental personality to where nowadays, like, if you're not like people are well known for their dancing and their skits and not for their cases.
So, alright. I'm gonna start off by saying my Instagram account is private. Private
Mhm.
account, alright? It's not a public account. It's not a dental account. This is my personal account. I just so happen to be an endodontist, so I put a lot of endodontic shit on there, right? Now, for these public accounts, I think that, um, especially for a general dentist, like you're marketing to the general public, so you kind of do want to, keep up with the trends of the general public. I get that, but I also think that they need to be careful as far as how far you want to cross this line of like social from professional,
Mm.
because I know that if I'm looking for a dentist and they shaking their ass on Instagram and it's a public account, everybody can fucking see it. Like, I'm not going to that fucking dentist. I'm
Right.
not, like, like, why would I go? Like, you're presenting yourself as a dentist, but you're shaking your ass, and you're probably shaking your ass in the video in the dental practice. Which I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you're recording it for the world to see that but you know, oh, so like to me that's a there's a lack of professionalism there. Um, but again, like I'm old,
Right.
so like I don't think the same way that a millennial thinks. So the millennial people might think that's fucking cool, and I might, but like as a Gen X, I'm looking at this shit. I'm like, you about to get OSHA up in there, and they're gonna shut your ass down.
Right. Right. I struggle with
So
that because I think you've known with my engagements with the NDA and in other organizations, trying to find speakers. Where I struggle is I'll be in a boardroom or a meeting. I say boardroom like it sounds fancy. I'll be in a Zoom boardroom, like a Zoom meeting. Not,
we're in the
right, I'm not
boardroom
a,
right now. What are you talking-
this is a boardroom. But there will be a push to, well, one of the issues I have is popularity seems to imply expertise in today's world,
Mm,
which I
mm,
really
yeah.
struggle with that. And then there's a push to platform popular doctors because it might sell tickets or put butts in seats. And these
Yeah.
popular doctors may not be skilled, knowledgeable, or good presenters, but they shake their ass, as you said, and they got a huge following. Um,
Or
and
mhm.
I really struggle with that because maybe I am old, but I'm a purist. Like, the Gordon Christiansens, the Dennis Tarnows, the Michael Picos. What's a big endo name? Like a rule?
Just like overall, like
Yeah,
trope.
like like who's that?
But I mean, if you want to like trope, he's old. I mean, how about Rico Short? Rico Short.
Rico
Everybody
Short.
knows
Right.
Rico.
Although
Yeah.
okay, let's leave Rico Short out of that because
Mm.
I like Rico. But Rico be stunting online all the time, Mr. Celebrity Dentist to the
Okay.
stars, right? But how about like do you know like a John
All right.
West
So in
or any of
well,
them?
it would be like if I say if we're in a endo meeting anywhere, probably in North America. Well, shit, probably anywhere in the world now. If I said Martin Trope or Hargraves, every endodontist is gonna be like, "Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
I read all those articles
Mhm.
that they did." Yeah.
Okay. So
So
a
like
trope.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well known, well respected, established
Hmm.
expertise. No dancing. And I'm
No
friends with
dance. No
Rico.
dance.
No dancing. And I'm friends with Rico. And Rico's actually he puts on great courses. So I wasn't excluding him because of lack of expertise because he does have expertise, but he does stunt online more than the example I was trying to portray. Right.
Well, I was saying him because of the example. I was like, he's a actually very good example of he has the marketing Instagram presence,
Right.
but he's also not shaking his ass.
Right.
You know,
Yes.
I mean, granted, he's doing a little of this and doing a little of that. You know, doing a little gator shoes every now and then. It's like,
Right.
but he's not. He's still the vast majority of what he posts is are cases, and he is changed it up too now. So he has a video and he's talking over the video. So now people actually hear his voice too, so they get familiar with his voice. So when they hear his voice again, like it's a I see the whole thing. I see how
Yeah.
he's working.
Yeah.
I see how
Yeah.
he's working. And it's smart. It's
Right.
smart. But also he knows that Instagram is what gets likes is like shock and awe, right?
Mhm.
So he knows that showing that Rolly, showing the Maserati or whatever he has now, he knows that it's going to bring in other people who aren't focused on the dentistry, but they're like, "Oh, look at that," you know.
Right.
So it's going to draw them in, and then you get hit him with the, "Oh, I did this case." So it's like
Right.
he's doing the whole Instagram marketing strategy to pull in, um, which I get it. I mean, I'm personally not with it. I mean, that's why I
Mhm.
have a private account. Like, I don't have the time to be doing all that stuff, but I understand it, you know.
Right.
But some other folks are just like, I feel like they're taking it too far. Like it's all dancing and
Mhm.
shaking your ass, and then um, I don't know, heaven forbid, like they do some skit where the patient's in there and they're dropping shit or whatever. Like I don't know. I've seen a lot of crazy stuff that I'm like, this is probably not something you want to record and send to the
Right.
world.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah.
but
And
so
I'll
like
be
I
honest with you. I will. I'll give you that. I think Rico has done it in a way that it's the best of both worlds. He garners the current social media trends respectably, in
Mhm.
that he's not shaking his ass, and then he backs it up with good cases and great educational content.
Yes. Yep.
Um, and but I've seen a lot of people that I've been forced to platform in the spaces that I'm at, and then you're watching the presentation, you're like, this is garbage. This is trash, right? which kind of lends me into the last question of the night because confidence is at an all-time high, popularity is at an all-time high numerically and with the different platforms we have today compared to what we had, 15, 20 years ago. And now I'm
Mhm.
seeing it's gone just from, hey, I'm popular, so people are there's an implied expertise and skill set that may or may not be there. But as I wanted to say this for the last question, I feel like I'm seeing an epidemic now of dental coaches. Everybody is a
Ugh.
coach. I needed to hear your opinion on these people. They're young dentists, old dentists that may not have done much, but now they've rebranded themselves as a dental coach. Like, how did this happen where everybody now is a qualified coach?
So, to me, it looks like well, I look at a lot of, like, financial advisement things and stock trading things or whatever, and it almost looks like exact copy
Mm,
of, like, how people are selling their financial ad advice and stock trading advice. It almost looks like it's just the the same path. Like,
right.
it's the same plot line, it's just on a different field.
Mm,
Um, and like, my thing is, like, my first question, I mean, I would have to, like, sign up and subscribe to one of these things, but I'm like, "What are you coaching? Like, what are you actually coaching?" You know? Like, are you coaching, like, life trends? Are you like, is this, like, a life coaching? Is this financial coaching? Is it dental case acceptance coaching? Dental case, like, application coaching? Like, I'm like, "What are you actually coaching?" And from what I see, the minimal things that I've seen, to me, it seems like they're coaching on how to get more patients in the office, which is just marketing.
right.
And I'm like, fucking, why they can do that? Wow. I don't know. I'm just like, you could pay anybody for that. Like, why this
Why this
specific
person?
person? Yeah. And then a lot of times well, not a lot of times. Some of the dental coaches that I have seen are people who have sold their practices. So again, so I'm like, what are you coaching? Are you coaching how to build your practice up and sell it? Or because you're not doing that type of dentistry anymore. So what are you coaching? I don't know. I don't know what it is.
And what did you stop? Or why did you stop? Because like some of the things I'm seeing is like, take my course, I can show you how to predictably produce $40,000 a day. And in my head, I'm like, well, if you were doing that, you wouldn't be coaching. So I guarantee you,
Oh,
if
you know
you
how
were
they're
doing
doing that, right?
$40,000 a day, that's way more than
They
you'd be making doing this coaching gig.
they doing it from coaching. Fill this room up, and you too can make $40,000. Yeah, that's why I'm like, I don't get it. I don't get it. Uh, yeah, it's just I guess so. I'm saying like it's following the same trends. They're like, oh, you see the ads like, oh, I just bought a Lamborghini and I own 10 houses. Here's how you can do it. Just sign up below and I'll take your money and get you the course. Like it seems the same type of I don't know what the right word is. It propaganda? I don't know. It's not really
Right.
propaganda. It's like a
It's almost like a grift. It's the same
you know what it is?
grift.
Yes, it's
Mhm.
capitalism at its finest.
That is fine. Like everyone now wants to be the Grant Cardone of dental industry. Like you said, let me show you how to flip this and flip that and turn this into that, and you can be a billionaire. And some of these people you and I know,
Yeah, I know.
right? And
I know.
I'm looking at them like, but you're not there. Like, yeah, you got some pictures on vacation. Anybody can do that. You know?
I mean, so this is so here's what I 100% agree with you, but at the same time, I have to say to myself, can't knock the hustle.
Mm,
Can't
mm,
knock the hustle because if I was similar minded, I would be doing the same thing.
right.
So like I can't knock the hustle. Like I just don't understand. don't understand what you're coaching. I don't understand what
Right.
you're
Right.
coaching. I don't understand what people are buying. Like, what are they buying? That's
Right.
whatsoever.
Mentors are
Because it's
free,
like, it's
right? Mentors are
mine
free.
was mine were the people I mentor, I do it for free. So I'm like, like why are
Or,
people paying for this?
or maybe we're the dumb ones. Maybe we're the dumb ones giving it out for free,
Yeah,
right? But okay, so your one hat
we are.
says can't knock the hustle, and I get that.
Can I?
If we put
I don't
on
understand it.
if we put on our community hat and say, okay, is this a predatory system that's developing that might be targeting especially the young black providers who often are first geners? We didn't many of us didn't have the parents in the industry that we can kind of walk into a wealth of knowledge and all that. Because what I feel like I see, and maybe it's just because I am in the community, I see a lot of young black, male and female dentists that are allured by the dancing, by the popularity, by the vacation pics in Mykonos and Bali, and they're shelling out $2,000 a month for this coaching. And I feel like I want to tell them, like, hey, they're preying on your whatever, your sensitivity, your vulnerability to
Vulnerability. Yeah.
success,
Mhm.
financial success, or desire for financial success.
This is so funny that you are saying this because remember when I hit you up and I was like, I want to do a lecture at NDA
Yeah,
and it's going to
yeah.
be financial related, and I'm like,
Mhm,
this is part of that. This is part of that whole thing. Is that uh, it's like so many people are living beyond their means.
mm,
Like, I mean, Instagram is one thing that perpetuates that. Is that like a lot of these people are posting these things and like they don't really have these things, or they are presenting themselves in a way that you think they have more than what they really have.
right.
Uh, and the problem is that it's the United States. It's
Mm,
like I don't remember what the actual figure was, but I was looking at like how many people in the United States are in debt,
mm,
and it's like it's in the 90s. Like
yeah,
90% of all Americans look around are in debt, right?
mm,
So all these people are in debt, and that guy is in debt right there who's driving that G wagon,
mhm,
right? That means that he's he's he possibly living beyond their means. So, and I think part of that comes, it stems from that is that people are trying to, uh, especially sadly to say, like black people like to like wear their money. They like to
mm,
show their money, you know.
right.
Um, so you're getting all these young black dentists trying to show their money, but in the end, the only thing that really matters is how much you got in the bank. They don't,
Right.
like that G wagon ain't in the bank,
Right.
and it's depreciating every day.
Yeah.
So I think it's just that is that people are trying to create this persona. What is it? Is it persona non grata? No, that's probably not the right term. There you go. Yeah,
Yeah.
of them having more, being greater. And then I think, but then that goes. I'm taking this full circle, right? That goes back down to how we talked about how people now are more concerned about like mental illness and feelings and all that. You know, so like it's all it's all connected. It's all
Yeah.
connected. You
Yeah.
know, and that is unfortunately where we are now. And
Yeah.
hopefully, a lot of these young dentists um, can get proper mentorship that's free, where they can get some guidance on how to properly manage themselves, and at least if you're going to like do all this marketing, at least have it equal what you're putting in, like,
Right.
or more, you know?
Right.
Um, it just don't do it and not make any money off of it. Like, you're just showing your ass up there for no reason, you know? And
Right.
it's like, where are the parents? Where are the parents? No.
Yeah. But, I remember my disillusionment, growing up, single parent household. My mom was an immigrant. We came here to the States when I was a teenager. And I remember seeing this American lifestyle and culture and assuming as a teenager would, if you got a fancy car, if you got jewelry or whatever, it translated to you had capital, you had money.
Mhm.
Then you get older and you realize like, oh, well, they're giving out, 15, 20-year auto loans at 15% for people to get these G Wagons and these, Maseratis and stuff. And
Yep.
you realize like it's all a facade. So much of it is a false projection. And then when you get to the level where I'm at, and I'm not going to say I'm rich by any means, but I'm committed where I came from. I'm doing very well, extremely well. But
Proud of
I'm
you.
in circles, with people way above me.
Mhm.
And what I realize is most of these people, especially ones that have had a lot of money for a really long time, from other cultures, especially outside of the black, you would never know it. They're wearing New Balances, some Levi jeans, and like a button-up
Mhm.
shirt they got from the Gap. It's not
And
Fendi.
some car 15 years ago. Like, yeah,
Yeah. So
exactly.
I would love, I'm hoping that, we can get you on the main stage or on a webinar with the NDA to talk about just the beginnings of basic financial literacy. So I feel like a lot of our young doctors feel like the definition of success is what's been projected, as
Mhm.
opposed to, hey, you're in a profession where you can actually love what you do for the rest of your life instead of, our parents who a lot of them just work jobs to feed their kids. You're in a profession where you can contribute positively to society. You can establish your skill and your knowledge base and have professional ambition. There's so many
Mhm.
positives in our space, but what a lot of them are basing or judging themselves off of is this projection of where am I vacationing, what kind of car am I driving, what kind of purse I have, and so forth. So I would love to see you contribute to the counterweight to that, what's been out there so pervasively.
No, and the crazy thing is that a lot of that, it has nothing to do with them. Like, you're buying stuff for other people.
Right.
Like, once you
Yeah.
realize you're buying like, stop buying stuff for other people, then you can actually get somewhere. Yep.
Listen, brother, it's been a blast. I love your honesty. I love your honest
You too.
takes. One of the most frustrating things I've had is I've had people come on platform. And mind you, for anyone listening, this is not a monetized platform. This is not a new gig. This
Free.
is a nerd that loves to get on Zoom with some of his friends and talk about stuff.
Bring on some more nerds.
Some more nerds, right? But so many people come on here, and the moment the camera turns on, it's like their game face, their political face is on, and you can't get them to be honest. And I think
Nah,
I appreciate your honesty,
you're welcome.
and it's a needed voice in here. So I'm hoping we can make this a regular thing. And I am so down to support
I'm
the
down with that.
Dentist After Dark movement. You know,
I'm down with that. I'm down with that.
yes.
Look,
But brother, we'll have you back on the show. I want to keep hearing your thoughts. I got a slew of other questions for you.
I'm down. I'm
Um,
down.
so to all the listeners out here, you guys know my closing words is always keep listening, keep learning, keep reading, and we'll talk to you soon.
Amen.